Hello everyone, I'm Dustin Benzel and welcome to another Pokemon XY anime discussion. As I said in the description of my previous video, I believe, or at least the last video that I know that I uploaded, I'm not sure if I'm going to upload this or my miniature birthday special, but I said there was some information about the Goodra release episodes or whatever, and there was a lot of information there, and I just wanted to go over that real quick. Let's see, I'm way not in the right place. Okay, so you'll see an image, and it'll have like Florges and Goodra on it, and all sorts of good things within the picture. Well, I don't necessarily say good things, but you know, it's a nice collection of images that are on the image. So, sorry, I should have done this sooner. Okay, we actually have quite a few images. Okay, so. Okay, so the first image that we have that is not quite relevant to the thing, except this one tiny picture, is a picture of Ash's history. Let's see, yeah, the first image, we have Gumi being caught by Ash, then we have Sliggoo using Dragon Breath, then we see Goodra after the battle with Clement, and then we have a new shot, which is in one of these episodes. I don't know if it's 69 or 70, but it's one of those episodes. So then it says, from Gumi to Goodra, this is a showcase of the scenes displaying its evolution. The strong-willed Gumi that has traveled with Ash has grown up, evolving into Sliggoo and then into a Goodra. This time has come for it to test its abilities. Ash befriended Gumi. It evolved into Sliggoo. Goodra played a major role at Lumiose Gym. Now Goodra's fight begins. Ash, let's show them your power. We got a nice image with the Goodra looking determined and Ash looking kind of determined or happy or whatever. Then the next shot we have is it has all these Pokemon on it along with Serena, Ash, Clement, and Bonnie. There's also Pikachu there and Goodra. We don't see Dedenne, but that's probably because Dedenne is in Bonnie's bag or whatever, and there's no shot of it. So then we have Ariados, Seviper, Florges, Beedrill, Pinsir, some more Beedrill, Yanmega, and that's pretty much it for the image. And the text that came with it, at least translated by someone else, says, a Florges approaches accompanied by many Pokemon. The reason why Goodra wanted to become stronger will now fully be revealed. Stand up against the wild Florges, Goodra's ordeal. So then the final shot is the one that we have a lot of goodies apparently within it and a lot of text here. But anyway, we got some swamp area here with Goodra, gigantic Goodra. Wow, Goodra's like the only thing you can really see from this distance from my monitor. Then we have the blue Florges. You know, as much as I kind of don't like the fact they used Florges as the evil-ish Pokemon, as well as it being blue Florges, my favorite type of Florges, I still can't get over how amazing Florges looks. So then we have Gumi. It looks like below the blue Florges we have Gumi and Whooper being attacked by Flamethrower. Judging by the other episodes, I'm thinking that's Viper, because Viper can learn Flamethrower. We've seen that image when Sliggoo evolved into Goodra. So then we have below that, then we have Seviper. We have Gulpin surrounded by a ring of fire. I don't think it's fire spin. It could just be some effect. And Gumi just staying there looking all shocked and surprised. Then on the other page we have Goodra using Dragon Pulse. Then we have an image of Florges and Team Rocket. And then we have another shot here with Goodra, Lotad, and some Quagsire and the Gulpin. Here is what it says in the images. A battle to retake its homeland. Gumi and its friends had their home stolen from them. Gumi used to live with its friends at a rich lake. However, they were kicked out of their own home by Florges and its companions that suddenly showed up one day. A group of Pokemon suddenly attacked under orders from Florges. Gumi ended up by Ash's side. Having somehow managed to escape, Gumi happened upon Ash and his friends who helped it. Goodra stands up to fight for its friends' sakes. After being kicked out of their home, Gumi's friends have been quickly getting by as best as they can, having acquired a strong sense of courage upon its evolution. Having acquired a strong sense of courage upon its evolution into Goodra, it fights for its friends with all it has. Ash, you can do it! It fights together with its friends. This is a battle between Pokemon, one that humans will have to stay out of. Goodra and its friends fight their best as Ash cheers them on. Team Rocket lurk in Florges' shadow. This is the Florges that expelled Gumi and its friends and took this lake. But we can see from Team Rocket standing there behind in the pic. Oh. But we can see Team Rocket standing in there behind in its picture. Why? Ooh, sorry. This is just a long distance for small text. We're talking about maybe 12 font from this distance. I know I have glasses, but they're not the best prescription that I have. Sorry about that. Anyway, so basically what we have here is, everything coming full circle. Gumi being scared for whatever reason by Pokemon. And we finally know why. All of this pointing to Gumi's backstory, Sliggoo, Goodra. We're finally uncovering why all this tragedy happened. This needless tragedy, mind you. But its backstory, its development, I guess, whatever you can say about it, it's there. I'm not sure why Team Rocket is in the episodes. I mean, of course, they're an antagonistic force, but the thing that catches my eye in the text, and that's been in a lot of the summary, is that the humans want to stay out of their problems or whatever. So, it's kind of weird that Team Rocket is there, potentially helping Florges, probably to capture these Pokemon. Thank you for getting my shot, cat. Jeez. Jeez, man. Okay. So, I mean, I can understand a little bit for why Ash and company are not going to interfere with this particular thing. But, you know, I can't help but think that it would probably be horrible writing just to have Goodra just be there fighting against Florges. And then it basically doesn't really do anything. I mean, hold on, I said that wrong. What I mean is, it's weird that the last moment we're going to get with Goodra just so happens to be Goodra doing everything by itself. And, you know, it's like, it makes me think, well, then what was the point of being with Ash in the first place? You know, if this really had to happen, I can't help think that a different trainer that we don't see would have been a lot more better. You know, I mean, they may have wanted to do it just so they can do something different as opposed to everything they've done, but I can't help but think this is just not very good writing, in my opinion. You know, I mean, overall, I mean, for the instance of this, for the story of Goodra's backstory, it is well developed. It definitely has that development, and in that case, it is very strong development. So that in that instance, it's okay. But as it pertains to the overall story of XY, it's not really good because, as I said in my other videos, maybe even on the forums possibly, that Goodra's release is just going to end up making Goodra pointless, and it's like, what was the point? Well, we all know the point was for Ash to get his voltage badge because the writers didn't have half a brain to make it any more exciting except to use a Goodra. But besides that, it's like, what was the point? I mean, to be honest with you, this could have been easily any other dragon Pokemon. Now, I've said this in maybe a video a long time ago when we were learning how fast Gumi was going to evolve into Slugoo and Goodra and stuff, and I already said that it made sense for Gumi to fully evolve quickly as opposed to possibly other dragon Pokemon, because Gumi is the weakest, or it's said to be the weakest dragon type, and Slugoo isn't exactly a very, well, Slugoo is supposed to be blind, but apparently Ash's Slugoo has advanced radar that it's not much of a problem with its antennae, and it just made sense that also because Slugoo evolves by rain and using rain dance, I guess, it made sense that Slugoo would quickly evolve. So for a Pokemon that could quickly evolve, I guess it does make sense that they chose Gumi, but I can't help but think, wouldn't it have just been maybe a little bit better if perhaps it was a different Pokemon? Like, I don't know, maybe it should have been Gibble that could have came back. See, Gibble didn't need that many episodes to begin with, you know, to evolve into a Garchomp. I mean, it's been with Ash, not counting the XY series, it's been with Ash for like maybe like, was it like 20 to 30 episodes since its capture. So it could theoretically come back, quickly evolve into Goodbye, and then we could spend the next 20 episodes, and then it could have been evolved into Garchomp, and then Garchomp could have been used against Clement. Clement would have stood no chance against the Garchomp. Well, Heliolisk might have had a shot against Garchomp, but definitely not Luxray or even Bunnelby. Ash could have swept Garchomp. In this instance, I think probably Clement should have like an ice type or whatever, you know, like, what's a good ice type? I don't know, Mamoswine possibly. Let Clement borrow Don's Mamoswine just so he can have a shot against Ash's hypothetical Garchomp. But anyway, it didn't necessarily have to be that instance. It could have been a lot of other Pokemon, you know. Let's see, what resists electricity? Just dragon types? No, it could have been a powerful grass Pokemon, you know, could have been even Trevenant. Ash could have got a Phantup, and then there could have been some shenanigans going on or whatever that ended up having Phantup evolving on Trevenant. And I feel like Trevenant would have been fine, because it would have just been similar to Goodra, for example, because Trevenant, for example, would be slow against Heliolisk and would probably take a lot of damage. Heliolisk wouldn't exactly have a super effective move unless it can learn Aerial Ace, but in case it couldn't learn Aerial Ace, it would still be fast, and Trevenant would like have no shot. But against Luxray, I think Trevenant could do very well. So I don't know. It's just that this kind of storyline shouldn't have happened. What they should have done is maybe possibly given Gumi like 10 episodes after Hawlucha, then have Froakie evolve, then have Gumi evolve into Slugoo, like in the middle of between when Ash did capture Gumi and Slugoo, probably right there would have been just right for Gumi to probably evolve into Slugoo if it was like caught like a few episodes after Halucha. Or it could have evolved before and Ash could have had a Slugoo and could have used it against Ramos. Ramos could have been a 4-on-4 maybe. I doubt it, but it would have been nice. But anyway, there are just a lot of things that could have happened that I just don't understand why this particular storyline is happening. It makes sense for the character, but what doesn't make sense is that this story even exists in the first place. You know, there could have been some horrible backstory, potentially against a trainer, an evil trainer. See, that's what it should have been, because then Ash could have at least kept Goodra. You know, because I would have thought that maybe it was some evil poacher that was taking all these Pokemon, and, you know, basically it gets resolved when the poacher is arrested, and therefore Ash would have been able to keep Goodra, and then maybe if they really had to get rid of Goodra, Ash could have sent Goodra to Sycamore, possibly to see if Goodra could Mega Evolve, if there was any reason, or maybe, here's that Ash has a Goodra and wants to study it or whatever. You know, there could have been alternative ways to have Goodra be removed from the team without making it seem like it was pointless to give the Pokemon to begin with. See, and that's the problem here, and that's why I don't like that these humans are not involved, well, except Team Rocket, because why not? And that's my problem, that this is just a Pokemon versus Pokemon. It's just like a callback to Ash's Pidgeot. There was a wild Spearow that attacked Ash. Well, it was kind of Ash's fault because he was throwing rocks at it, and the Spearow attacked, but then Spearow went away, got electrocuted, I think, and then it went away, and then it got petty, got a whole bunch of Spearow. They got knocked out, and then fast forward to after the Indigo League, the Spearow that Ash first attacked in the first episode evolves into a Fearow, and it starts attacking the Pidgey and Pidgeotto there. Ash's Pidgeotto in particular had to evolve into Pidgeot, and then it had to stay. And that was all because of wild Pokemon. And that's why I don't like this type of storyline to begin with. Because, quite frankly, it's just stupid that we have to actually deal with something like this. We have to deal with a Pokemon that escaped from wild, attacking, violent Pokemon just to take their homeland, and that particular Pokemon ends up dropping in the main character's lab, the main character's labs, you know, Ash, Serena, Clement, Bonnie, had to just be them, and then Ash bonds with it, captures it, and then goes through a bonding with it and training it into Slugoo, and then into Goodra, and then just to go back to the wetlands that it came from the lake and its homeland, the swamp, whatever you want to consider it as, and then just have this all be about wild Pokemon. Therefore, when Goodra does what it does to stand up against Florges and its companions or compatriots or whatever, its minions basically, then we have to deal with the whole storyline of Ash releasing Goodra for the better of the wetlands, so that Goodra will always be there to protect the wetlands and swamp and everything, you know, and I'm just calling foul. Again, I understand why humans are not going to get involved, but I don't know, it just seems that if you were on a reservation, animal reservation, and in regards to Pokemon, for example, and you had Gumi, you had Gulpin, you had Quagsire and Wooper, you had all of these Pokemon, for example, and all of a sudden these wild Pokemon from yonder by are just coming in like in an army and taking out all your reservation Pokemon and just standing there and letting it happen because it's nature. You know, I think I understand why they're doing this, but it actually makes sense for humans to interfere here because because this is like a special area, and just to have all these random wild Pokemon coming in like an army and destroying everything, I just don't think that's very good for nature. I mean, the land will get destroyed, the water, the trees, the plants, and to the point that the Pokemon battling each other in a long war, for example, because I have a feeling this is going to be a war that's never going to end. You know, and that's the reason why I don't like this storyline at all, and I think it's quite frankly stupid in the first place, you know, because this is going to be a war that never ends, to the point where it just doesn't make any sense, because I have a feeling that this is just going to end up being that the wetlands is just going to be uninhabitable anyway, because even if the next Pokemon that comes in, you know, sure, there's Goodra, but then Goodra's going to fire Dragon Pulses. It's going to wreck up places and everything. That it's just, what's the point? Why are you protecting an environment that's just going to be destroyed by a war? Now, if there was a human there that would actually battle these Pokemon one-on-one, these villains that are causing all this destruction, these villainous Pokemon, and captured them, or you know, regroup them into their own area, maybe that would be for the best. But no, we have to have this. We have to have a ongoing war because Goodra is pretty much being released. You know, at this point, there's like really no hope of Ash or Goodra staying with Ash. I mean, the best we can hope for is maybe Sycamore or Oak will borrow Goodra last moment at the end of the episode, and that's the end of that, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the case, which is why I don't really like this storyline and would have preferred a poacher, because then the humans could have been involved, because it is a poacher using these Pokemon to attack these, and then all of a sudden, then when the poacher gets arrested by Officer Jenny or whatever, then we could just have Ash keep Goodra, and then possibly some of the normal Pokemon there could maybe evolve. Gulpin could evolve into Swalot, some Wooper could evolve into Quagsire, and Lotad could like maybe fully evolve into Ludicolo, and then maybe those Pokemon could take care of the wetlands or swamp or lake or whatever, and not have to deal with poachers. But, you know, it's like the moment that the executive producers approved Ash capturing Agumi, Sugu, and Goodra, they just could not wait to get rid of it, and I just don't like it. Because, I mean, seriously, this is happening a few episodes after Clement. Like, basically just, there was just a break. Ash got his Voltage Badge, then it was the Garchomp, and then we're getting to the two-parter where Goodra gets released. And it's just like, they just could not get rid of it fast enough. And I hate that this storyline exists to begin with. You know, I feel like a poacher storyline would have been a lot better. But no, it had to be wild Pokemon, because that would be the only reason why Goodra would have been released. Because it would be an endless ongoing war between Goodra and the Pokemon that want to take over the homeland. You know, and to me, it's just ridiculous. And I'm just annoyed that we have to actually deal with this. Because, you know, Ash could have used Goodra. Goodra would have been a very nice Pokemon to have if Ash didn't need Goodra all throughout the whole entire series. They could have easily come up with a better solution than just saying, well, we're going to give Ash a Pokemon just so we can get the Voltage Badge, but don't worry, we're going to get rid of it as soon as we possibly can, so that way we can just progress the storyline and pretend like Goodra never even existed to begin with. And that's my whole problem with everything, you know? I mean, it's great that Ash might be getting a Noibat. I mean, it's not 110% confirmed. Logically, I would think it's at least 90% confirmed, but it's still not guaranteed. But at this point, it's like, whatever. I mean, hey, at least Ash is possibly getting a Pokemon really soon in the form of Noibat. But this whole entire thing is ridiculous. I mean, I know there was a lot of build-up for this, and that's why this is happening. I just don't like it. I don't think there is any way that I could like this particular storyline. And I pray that the writers and the executive producers never, ever do this to Ash. It's usually always Ash. Let's look at the past series Pokemon. The only other character, not counting Brock giving up Vulpix, the only character that has ever technically gotten rid of a Pokemon was Dawn and Ambipom, which was stupid in the first place because I don't want to really get into it. But yeah. Read my 4th generation reflections. I'm sure I mentioned it there in some fashion or another. But anyway, I just don't like this. So again, we have to deal with Ash. I realize that Ash hasn't released a Pokemon since Lapras, but these releases just don't need to happen. You know? I would prefer something like Gliscor, or Charizard, or Bulbasaur, you know, or even Heracross. When Oak wanted to study Ash's Heracross, so Ash got rid of all these Pokemon, basically, and whatever, just so Ash could possibly get Phanpy at the end, you know? So I just don't like these storylines. Not with Ash. This would have been fine with Serena, Clement, even Team Rocket. Oh, well, they're another group of trainers that have released their Pokemon, but they don't really count as much. I mean, sure, they're emotional, and if you like Team Rocket, those are some of the best Team Rocket episodes. I will agree, even though I don't really care for Team Rocket, but they're not really the main characters, so it's like Team Rocket could switch out their Pokemon constantly, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's only the main characters I would care about, because Team Rocket, the reason why I don't care about Team Rocket or necessarily their Pokemon or what they have, well, I kind of do care what they have, but for the most part I don't, is because they're antagonists. Antagonists to the series. They are going to constantly lose, so even though the episodes where their Pokemon are released and they get some good development or whatever, even though I didn't watch it, there is that emotional aspect that came from Jesse's Wobbuffet episode, I'm pretty sure, where Jesse tried to release Wobbuffet to the female Wobbuffet, but Wobbuffet came back and stuff. So they are emotional, and if you like Team Rocket, those are the really good episodes, but for me, I just don't really care too much because they're antagonists. But for the protagonists, and their options are limited, and a lot of the times we're forced to deal with the Pokemon that the writers give them and the executive producers give them, that it just sucks that the moment that this something happens, they release their Pokemon. You know, it's just like, why did you give them the Pokemon in the first place? You know, there could have been other storylines that you could have done to have that Pokemon not be on the team anymore, but not have them never seen again, you know? Like, giving a Pokemon to Professor Oak, for example, you know? Dawn didn't have to get rid of Ambipom. Ambipom could have just stayed with Johanna, because I find it unusual that Ambipom was released before the Twin Leaf Festival arc that we had to deal with. You know, Ambipom could have stayed and wanted to help Johanna, and then Dawn could have later caught Togekiss, as well as a Cyndaquil, Cyndaquil first, then Togekiss, and that would have been fine. And then Ambipom, Dawn decided that she didn't want to use Ambipom. She wanted to use the Pokemon she had to deal with, or maybe Ambipom was too sick, you know, because there was that one episode where Ash was in, I think, the Hoenn League, I believe, and there was a cut to Delia, and she was taking care of a sick Mr. Mime. I guess that was to explain why Delia didn't travel to the Hoenn region for Ash for the Sinnoh League, or the Hoenn League. So I mean, they could have easily done things, you know. They just don't have to release Pokemon, and for someone like me, I don't see the purpose in releasing Pokemon, period. I will never see the point in releasing a Pokemon whatsoever, you know. I mean, maybe for someone like Team Rocket, it's understandable. Maybe they just want to make up room a little bit to so it's not just these Pokemon. You know, maybe the Team Rocket's Pokemon are getting a little too heavy. I can understand that, you know, but for someone like Ash who needs his Pokemon, you know, it's just development wasted. I mean, Ash went to the trouble to capture this Goomy, fully evolve it, get his Voltage badge, and then Goodra is being tossed away like garbage. You know, and all that development, all of that character interaction becomes meaningless and pointless, which is why I don't like captures, you know. As much as I hated Primeape being released, at least that one felt a little better because, you know, Primeape wasn't really used and it was released. I mean, I hate it because Primeape was a cool Pokemon to give Ash, and it's just a shame that it got released. But think of like Pidgeot. All of that Ash went with Pidgeotto all through the Indo League, releasing Pidgeotto, or Pidgeot, basically, because it evolved, pointless. Butterfree. Butterfree was really important to Ash, but it gets released. It becomes pointless, you know? Same with Lapras. You know, there was a story, but it didn't have to go that way. Lapras could have decided to travel with Ash, but it got released. As well as Ambipom. That made it entirely pointless. All that development. Ambipom helped Dawn get a ribbon, I believe, at some point, you know? And it helped Ash get his Gardenia badge. All of that pointless. All of it pointless and meaningless. Like it meant nothing. And for characters, especially like Ash, this can't happen. Ash needs to be with his Pokemon as much as possible. He needs to develop them as much as possible. You can't throw in a random, powerful Pokemon like, say, Gibble last minute and then have it not develop at all except learning Draco Meteor, which it didn't master until during the Pokemon League, mind you, and expect it to be powerful, you know? It just doesn't make any sense. It's not what I call good writing. If you're going to give Ash a Pokemon, wait until after the league to release it. Anyway, I've talked way longer than I wanted to. Thank you for watching this particular episode of Goodra's Release, episode 70, pre-discussion. I will definitely go over these episodes. The episode 69 is going to come out soon. As of this recording, it's going to be in a few days that it comes out. It's going to be on my birthday. It's going to be released on my birthday. Yeah, not a very happy birthday I'm going to have. So yeah. After 70 though, I'm going to wait until around May because that'll be when I'll be able to record is in May because episode 70 is going to be on April 30th and there's no 31 days in April, so it's probably going to be around May 1st, May 2nd that I'm going to be able to record a massive review of these two episodes, 69 and 70. and we'll discuss how much I hate it, and you'll see me throwing a temper tantrum. No, I'm just kidding. You won't see that, but anyway, yeah. So, and then after that, after Goodra is released, I'm going to do another video about XY series so far. I mean, I suppose I could wait until Noibat, or at least, but I'll try. Hopefully we'll get some more titles and summaries soon, especially the Noibat episode, because it's the only, because it's one of the 2 episodes that have yet to have titles, and then there's the 77 and 78. Can't remember. See, 77 was Starly, 78 was Meowth. So we're getting there. We're getting there. We know up to 74, so we just need to know about the Shota Trico episode, whatever the title is going to be. And then we also need the Noibat title. And hopefully that will all be revealed by April 30th so that I can discuss it in one of my videos. So again, thank you for watching this video. Want to discuss anything in the comment section below? That's perfectly fine. I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.